happy Monday. Not my favorite day. Good evening or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. So, quick intro to this video. Of course, you saw the thumbnail. You know that we're going to have some boost problems. We're going to get right into the video. You're going to hear that I'm sick. A couple things that I want to mention really quickly. By the time this video airs, there'll be a post about our brand ambassador program this year. Big congratulations to Dre. If you're a customer client of ours and you want to be part of our army this year, our team, you don't have to have $1 million setup. You just got to go out and represent. So if you're looking to have fun, we're going to do group outings, go-karting, all this other stuff this year. We're looking to make 2025 a very fun year. Just email rcautoworks@gmail.com. If you're not a customer or client of ours and you're looking to become one, you can also email us or message down below. I get back to it. One thing I do want to mention in this video that I hear a lot of, just because your car is making boost on the street does not mean you should not do a boost leak test. I say it over and over again. You have to consider how small that map sensor input is reading, smaller than a pinky, and then just imagine how much area that boost is covering. So a small leak, you're going to lose power, and you're spending all this money to make power. Just do a boost leak test. I encourage it. That's it. Let's get into the video. So, as I'm going over the setup, and I'm going to get underneath the car, I'm going to show you too. You can see that the oil drain line is just way too long. It is not... Oil has to basically go back uphill, so it's going to have to go against gravity. What you're going to have happen is you're going to have oil get stuck right here, not being able to drain. My phone's trying to focus on my finger and then that, but... So it's going to get stuck there, not being able to drain. The oil's not going to be able to get out of the turbo properly, which is going to cause issues. I did notice when I pulled this car in, it was smoking a little bit to begin with, so it could be something as easy as that. Excuse me. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to disconnect the PCV valve. If you watch my videos beforehand, then you know I've said it a million times that I don't like to rely on the PCV valve not malfunctioning and then having boost go in your crankcase underneath your pistons. You will crack a piston ringland pretty quickly like that. What I'm also going to do is unhook the purge solenoid. Yeah, the purge solenoid is only supposed to let air flow one way or the other, but at the same time, if it's not working correctly, you're going to be boosting in your gas tank. I've actually had people call me and state, when I get in a boost, it's weird, I hear like a gargling. It's like, yeah, you're boosting into your fuel tank, your gas tank. So, of course, we don't want that to happen. I'm going to cap those off really quickly. Got a couple other things I'm going to make note for the customer. I got in really quickly, hooked up the... This one's being tuned on a chip DCU. If I didn't mention that, I hooked up my computer, which I've done a video before on tuning with chip DCUs. I'll try to remember to put the link down below. His IACV, idle air control valve, is not working. It's not getting any type of response when I slide the duty on it. So I'm going to note some little stuff like that, and then I will be back with you guys. So as you can see, working underneath here, the line appears to be like a heater hose type line. So you got basically two lines that can look like this. You got like a heater hose type line that's not supposed to see oil, and then you have like a hydraulic line going off the feel and how it's starting to get soft. Definitely a note that I'm going to make on top of, like I said, the return line should never have a slope, as I was saying before. So I don't know if yeah, perfect. My camera did want to pick it up. I didn't know if it would want to focus. You can see the oil is overfilled. A good amount here too, so I'm gonna make note of that. And the one thing too I was gonna come back and say was, He's on some old school RC 650 injectors. Now, he is running a smaller turbo, but at the same time, looking at the dyno sheet he filled out, he's running a 14-pound spring. So I know I already expressed to him my concerns about the size of injectors. He said he wasn't worried. I also asked him if he did a boost leak test. He said the setup was not, he said it wasn't a garbage setup, so he did not do a boost leak test. So as I was saying in some other videos, it's always a concern. Should always do a boost leak test, no matter the size of the turbo, no matter the size, no matter the amount of power you want to make, and no matter the quality of parts you're using. You can always have a leak here or there. So we shall see. Let's get into it. A couple other things to note more so. Customer already gapped the spark plugs before coming here. I will say this, and I've said it a million times, talk to your tuner before doing anything like that. The rule of thumb is we don't want to gap the spark plugs unless we have to, as in if the car is going to start having spark blowout. There has been some well-known tuners in this industry as a whole that do testing on spark plugs and gap and whatnot. And like I said, the rule of thumb is don't gap them any tighter unless you have to. So it's just a little bit of a note that I have for him. I already talked about the PCV and the purge stuff. Return line, IACV. It's got some oil leaks coming from the back of the block and the trans area. Nothing major. Right now, the thing that's sticking out the most is going to be that fuel injector, not the fuel injector, but air fuel stuff. And of course, the oil being overfilled is never good either. So I'm expecting to see a little bit more smoking on the dyno, specifically too at that return line. So we're going to get into boost, see what it wants to do, and I'll be back. You know, I'm going to add here too, as I'm vacuum capping these off. I don't charge labor on little stuff like this. Consider it me being nice. I'll charge maybe a couple bucks for a zip tie and some vacuum caps. But, you know, if you've never dealt with me before, the one big thing is, you know, I know other shops could be like this. And now this year's 25 years in business. I don't nickel and dime you. You know, I do wish people would watch more of my videos and, you know, learn from the stuff, because at times it is like I'm beating a dead horse. It's repetitive. You know, it is what it is. So got one vacuum cap on, gonna get the other one on, sit inside, and I'll update you guys. You know what I wanted to add really quick too, not only about penny pinching, but you know, I know other shops try to upsell. Does he need a catch can? No. Should he have a catch can? Yes. Now, can you utilize the stock? Because every engine has some type of, you can call it a catch can. PCV stands for positive crankcase ventilation. That's what you want to do. You want to eliminate the pressure coming out of the block. Can guys just disconnect everything, hollow out the PCV and let it shoot on the ground? Yeah, I've had many of people doing that over the course of how many years I've been doing this. Is it ideal? No, of course not. Can you use a Mountain Dew bottle? I've seen guys use Mountain Dew bottles. I've seen somebody use a Hennessy bottle. I don't recommend Hennessy bottles because they're glass. But that's the thing too. You know, just because you're making a certain amount of power doesn't mean you won't benefit from a catch can setup, which if you go up on top, if you're new here, type in RC AutoWorks catch can. I've done plenty of videos on that and the benefits. So, you know, just one of those things. I know some new people are watching my videos and they don't really know me or know how I operate, so just wanted to put that out there. So got into boost. As I'm done with the pull, car comes down, excuse me, idles even higher. So I went out, I already found the boost leak, well, vacuum leak, boost leak. Let me show you. So when I found that leak, I didn't know what was going to it. Actually pulled up an old clip, and I saw that there was a vacuum cap going to it. Had no zip tie or clamp on it. Can also see the line next to it also has no zip tie or clamp on it. So I'm hoping that doesn't also pop off during a pull. I did note, and you could probably hear it in the video, that that timing belt is a little bit loud. If it is too tight, you can actually start pulling downward on the cam and the cam gear itself, which will start actually wearing down the lobes on the cylinder head and the cam caps that are closer to the actual timing belt side. So something I'll make note. I'm going to do another pull, see if we gain a little bit more power, see if we make a little bit more boost. So talking to the customer about the boost issue, which I'm going to get into, I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. He wants me to remove this nut so this will thread on even more. Shorter the rod for internal wastegate, more boost. So we're going to see if we can get more boost. I don't personally think we're going to. I think we have a boost leak, seeing how boost is tapering, which I'm going to show you in a Datalog too. So give me a second. Okay, so I was in between. Let the car cool down. I don't even know the videos I got in between, but I took the nut off. He wanted me to take it off and thread it on more. Unfortunately, this piece, it's not going to thread on anymore. Camera doesn't want to focus, but you can still kind of see the threads that are still left where the nut would be. There you go. So I'm going to get this back on, throw the wire back on to keep it secure. You know, he's got some exhaust leak too that's down here. I don't know if I documented it. It's been a long day. You can see it right there. If I turn the flash on, you can see it. You can see it all over the turbo too. But he also wants me to tighten this. He feels like this is the issue, but I really do not believe that's the issue. So what's actually happening is boost is hitting. So now, keeping in mind he has a 14-pound spring in the wastegate, we're seeing peak boost around, I think it's 12.6 psi at about 4,700 RPMs. That's right where VTEC kicks over, and then boost just tapers off. Now, looking at the dyno sheet too, power's a little bit lower than it should be for the amount of boost and the size of the turbo. Yes, it's a small turbo, but that means the turbo should have no problem spooling up. It's going to spool up even quicker. And seeing how the boost is bleeding off, something else is going on between. I don't think it's this. I mean, it could be the wastegate. I'm not sure. We don't have much to play with. This looks like a knockoff blow-off valve. Those can just be, it could be leaking to begin with. So ultimately, I'm going to do another pull. I have the Datalog. I'll show you really quickly what I'm talking about with the boost, and we'll go from there. So you can see as I hit the play button on this Datalog what happens. So you're going to see boost climb, and I'm going to do it slowly now so you can see it. So 12.6, and you can see as soon as we get more into VTEC how it's dropping. And like I said, with this turbo being that small, if the spring inside is really 14 pounds, well, we should be seeing that. And either way, we shouldn't be tapering off as we continue to go 2,000 more RPMs. And we're going to go down as low as 10. I think we get down to 10.3. So, and that's only stopping at 5,400. Of course, if I continue to go on, it's going to go down even shorter. I'm sorry, it's going to go down smaller. So it's been a long day. Started this tune with daylight. It is now dark out. I'm going to see if a pull makes any more boost with that wastegate messed around with a little bit and the blow-off valve, but I don't think we're going to see any difference. So I'll be back. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up in the video, but right now air fuels are about 14.7, and you can hear how the engine doesn't want to run smooth. Which, you're going back, you know, I don't know how much I said in the notes, well, about my notes. The air fuel's been acting up. Now it just started running 12s for no reason. Nothing was touched. So you go 14.7 to 12 for no reason. I'm going to get into that a little bit more too, though. But I wanted to come out and let you guys hear that as I'm letting it warm back up to do a pull. So this one is a wrap. I will add, during the whole tune, I was updating the customer, and he did want me to, well, he asked if I can replace the IACV while I was on the dyno and replace the fuel filter. You know, the big issue is that's not what you're coming in for when you come in for a dyno tune. That all should be taken care of beforehand. Now, since it's hard to read a tone over messages on Facebook, you know, I did explain to him I wasn't like upset or anything. You know, a lot of his responses were, well, you know, it was fine before it got there, but there's stuff that, you know, clearly wasn't fine and just wasn't caught beforehand. So that part is a little aggravating. You know, it's not like I'm making this stuff up. My job would be a lot easier if everything just cooperated. And I'm looking at my phone. I got a couple seconds here before let me restart this video, clear some memory up. So this is his list that I just put together while I was dyno tuning the car. You know, one of the things too he mentioned, where I said the air fuels were being inconsistent and changing, you know, he mentioned that the car ran fine before on an S300, but it ran pig rich. Well, you know, that could have been an injector issue. The other thing too that he said is the injector sat for a while. Well, you never want injectors just to sit. Plus, these are very old school